Double Clutch is Wild Ride on the Sega Mega Drive. I know this might sound a bit cheeky, but what if I told you that there was a top-down racer that somehow makes high-speed automotive mayhem feel like watching paint dry? Welcome to Double Clutch, a top-down racer that would release for the Sega Mega Drive, which attempts to capture the excitement of arcade racing in your living room. But the execution does leave much to be desired. This overlooked racing title offers a unique perspective on vehicular competition that equals parts that are both ambitious and frustrating. The game presents a colourful top-down racing experience that showcases both the strengths and limitations of the Sega Mega Drive hardware. The car sprites are reasonably detailed for their size, with distinct vehicle designs that help differentiate between racers during the heat of competition. Track environments feature different varieties, from urban circuits and building backdrops to more natural settings with trees and landscape elements. However, the visual presentation suffers from inconsistent quality. While some backgrounds are pleasantly detailed, others feel sparse and repetitive. The animation of the vehicles lacks the smooth fluidity you'd expect from a racing game, with cars sometimes appearing to glide rather than grip on the track. The collision detection and its visual feedback is also underwhelming, with crashes and bumps that don't really carry the impact that would enhance the racing excitement. The core racing mechanics in Double Clutch offer a straightforward arcade-style experience, where players navigate their vehicles through various circuit layouts, competing against AI opponents in what should be intense wheel-to-wheel action. The top-down perspective provides good track visibility, allowing players to plan their moves and navigate turns with reasonable precision. The game does include multiple racing modes and a selection of different vehicles, each with varying performances and characteristics. The variety does add some replay value as players experiment with different cars to find their preferred driving style. The control system, while intuitive enough in utilising the Mega Drive's controller for steering, acceleration and braking, while it does work, it simply could have been better. Double Clutch does include a lot of expected features seen in other 16-bit racing games, with multiple tracks, various car options and different modes, offering single-player campaigns and multiplayer options, allowing friends to compete head-to-head, with the track selection providing adequate variety, though none of the circuits themselves feel particularly memorable or innovative. It does attempt to include some strategic elements with pit stops and vehicle management, but these features feel underdeveloped compared to more sophisticated racing titles of that time. The progression system exists, but it does lack depth that would encourage long-term engagement. The game does succeed, however, in delivering accessible racing action that's easy to pick up and play, and works well for multiplayer sessions, creating clear visibility for all players. The variety of the vehicles within provides some experimentation opportunities, and the basic mechanics are functional enough to generate moments of genuine competition. The game's soundtrack does add to the experience and high-speed action, and does offer some brief glimpses of excitement that it was designed to provide. Unfortunately, this is essentially where the engine stalls, as Double Clutch's problems significantly outweigh its strengths. The most glaring issue is its inconsistent frame rate and sluggish controller response that plague the racing experience. Cars do often feel unresponsive, making precise manoeuvring difficult and reducing the sense of speed that's crucial for winning races. The AI opponents provide inconsistent challenge levels, sometimes offering no competition at all, while at other times becoming impossibly aggressive. This unpredictability undermines the strategic elements of racing and can lead to frustrating experiences rather than fair competition. The track design, while varied in theme, often lacks the exciting layout complexity that would make races memorable, and many of the circuits just simply feel generic, with predictable turn sequences that don't challenge drivers or create opportunities for dramatic racing moments. Perhaps the most damaging of these elements is the overall lack of polish across the entire experience. From minor graphical glitches to audio issues, Double Clutch does feel like a game that needed more development time to reach its full potential. In many ways, the game does represent a missed opportunity in the Sega Mega Drive's racing game library. While it contains the basic elements needed for an entertaining racing experience, the execution does fall short of what the hardware could deliver. The game might provide some entertainment for dedicated racing fans or collectors seeking to explore lesser known Mega Drive titles, but it cannot compete with the superior racing options that were available on the platform. For those looking to experience the best of 16-bit racing, you would be better off spending your time with more polished alternatives. But Double Clutch does serve as a reminder that good intentions and decent concepts need solid execution to create truly engaging games. But regardless of its flaws, it does have some positives and some very good multiplayer qualities that you would also see in many other games that released on the system, which we can learn more about here in this next video.